Hello everybody, so finally a video on the Rover SD1. I know you guys have been wondering what's been going on with it, what's happening with it. So in this video we're going to do a wee bit of a project summary and roundup for 2024. I'll tell you the jobs I've been doing and maybe what the plans are for the future. Put in the comments as well what you think I could be doing with it in 2025. My name's Chris and welcome to Retro Ratchet. Before we get started on this one, if you're enjoying the channel, either the retro car reviews or my own project work, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Currently, 87% of you guys are not subscribing. We're only at 6,000 and my original goal was 10,000 by the end of the year, so we're a little bit off that at the moment. So increasing subscriber count really does help support small channels like Retro Ratchet. And in return, I'll continue to try and do at least 2 videos a week till the end of the year. So December 2021 was the start of my adventure with C228 DMH, a 3.5 litre Rover SD1 Vitesse. Registered in March 1986 and last on the road in 2007, I acquired the car through the clearance of a deceased estate. Throughout 2022 and 2023 I completed a thorough restoration of the structure of the car, floor, sills, repaired jacking points and arches, and the list really did go on and on and on. The car was also treated to a full repaint in its original Moonraker Blue Metallic. Fast forwarding to May 2023, it passed its first MOT in 16 years and I was buzzing to have rescued it from the scrap heap. Early in its life, the EFI system was removed and substituted with a carb, but the car does seem to be a factory twin plenum version. Since May 2023, I've used the car for shows and continue to replace or renovate its parts in an effort to restore it as best I can back to its former glory. Now let's fast forward to late 2024. Let's get started with the exterior. What do you think? Well, actually, it's pretty much the same. It has been getting used quite a lot, so you can see it is covered in mud. It is very much a used classic car. It doesn't just sit in the garage looking good. So apologies, I didn't actually wash it for this film shoot. Now, moving on to the front here, we do have some nice new indicator lenses. Those old ones were hideous, they were cracked, they were damaged, and they didn't do the car any favours. Headlamps, we could probably do with replacing them. They are a wee bit worse for wear, you can just see in there on the reflectors. So I am just keeping an eye out for a list of parts that I think will enhance and improve the car. Now, what I have been spending quite a bit of time is, I'll try and cut in some shots from a previous video, is the inner arches there. They've all now been sprayed with Gravitex, front and back. That was a job that's actually been outstanding for about a year, so I was glad to get that done and out the way before winter came, and that has made some difference under there. We had this one to fit, so that was missing in I think the last roundup video that I'd done, so I've sourced that. Moving down the side here, I've painted that now, the Rover badge. That was satin black when the car was last filmed. And then moving around the back, not a massive amount happening back here, except we now have that missing bracket there on the bumper, so that secures that in place. So that is the exterior view as it stands. Not a massive amount still to do actually on that. Now let's take a wee look inside and see where I've gotten up to there. And there is these window rubbers, and I can't seem to source these things anywhere. Lots of people have come up with suggestions, but it would be nice something that would just fit. So that is a shame. Let's have a wee look inside. Right, so here's the biggest difference. Are you ready for it? Headlining. The car never had headlining in it when I bought it, so we'll do a separate video on how I actually done that. Sunroof panel is all trimmed as well. And then those C-pillar trims down the back there, I've also done those. So I think that's looking pretty decent. This I already washed once, I'm probably going to have to clean it again, just this little trim. That is letting it down a little bit, as are the sun visors. They're looking a wee bit worse for wear, as you can see. I've put off trying to clean them because they are so fragile, so I've just left them for the time being. But what a difference to actually have a nicely trimmed roof area. So that's turned out really, really well, and we've got another video on that one that I will eventually get out, so that'll be good, so you can actually see how difficult a job it really was. A-pillar trims, they're back on again, a couple of screws missing, but that's fine. We're currently looking for a rear wiper switch. I've just got that fitted there, that was missing, and steering cowl Steering cowl, the original, had a hole in it there, so I've just sourced a new one of them, so that's good, that's on. So the eagle-eyed among you might notice that we're missing some trims there at the bottom of the A-post. I do actually have them, I'm just waiting on clips so we can get those fitted. Now, what else have we been up to in here? I have actually started to clean the interior up, the plastics, and try and detail the car a wee bit. And they've actually come up not too bad, as you can see there, but I've not done the whole interior. I did make a wee start on that door as well. Seats obviously need to be done, but that's probably going to be something for the summer, unfortunately. This as well, it'd be nice to get a new one of these. This is all badly worn, as you can see, and then probably fit some kind of radio cassette in there just to take up that hole. Now moving down here, yeah, we could probably do with a new gear stick gator. I think that's probably the original one and pretty grotty. And I cleaned up a lot of these plastics down here and they came up not too bad. And nothing else is damaged down here. I did fit the gator on the underside of this, which obviously won't be able to show you. So that's killed all the sound that was coming up through there. It was just a hole straight the way to the outside. So I sourced one of them and that's fitted. So that's nice to get that job finished off, and the little plastic I don't know, it's just a little bit of plastic trim that goes round there. That doesn't seem to clip in. That's just sitting loose. Obviously, seats themselves, they do need a good clean. And I've reassembled the rest of the interior. The little glove box down there, and loads of various little bits of trim, like those vents and stuff that I left off from when I'd done the dashboard repair. They're all back on. Now, under the bonnet, let's take a wee look under here and see what we've been up to. So if you've been regularly watching the videos on this car, you'll know that the under bonnet area and the engine hasn't had a full restoration like the rest of the car. It's very much been a case of fix what has broken and replace along the way. So it had a little blowover when the rest of the car was done. Like I said, not a proper restoration. So just things like fixings I've been changing, painting little brackets like this. That servo was actually new. So that will actually come up like new. That was new, that was new, that was new. Cam covers, rocker covers, not the cam covers because it's only got a single cam that's down below. Yeah, rocker covers, cleaned them up, and they've got wee Rover stickers on them, and I think that has made a massive difference. Inlet manifold was off, that was cleaned up and painted, valley gasket was done, and we've got the new radiator here, the alloy radiator, and again, a couple of wee brackets on the front, changed the bolts, painted the brackets, and then let's take a wee look round at this side. What have we got going on around here? Yeah, what we did find was a tiny little hole. You won't be able to see it, it was right in the corner in there. So I've actually cut that out and welded it. I noticed that when I was doing the seam sealing. So that's unfortunate, but we've seam welded that in, and that probably needs the paint rectifying next year. But other than that, we're actually looking not too bad under here, I would say. Certainly a million times prettier than when the car was last seen on the channel. Right, I thought you guys would like a wee clip of me driving it, so we can hear that lovely V8 soundtrack. Except I did forget one of my cameras, so I'm going to have to use the phone. But it'll do alright all the same. So the trusty old V8, bulletproof as always. The car, I would say, is now into a jump into and drive condition, which is really a great place to be in something like this. You just go out, have a blast and enjoy it. And most of the stuff that I've been focusing on is just cosmetics, little bits and pieces that have needed to be replaced since I've got the car. So yeah, it's nice to just get out and enjoy it now. And I think that Rimmer's exhaust system is actually spot on. Not too loud, but you can certainly hear you're driving a V8. Glorious soundtrack. Now, I did have a bit of messing about with thermostats. I did have issues with cooling systems since I'd done the valley gasket, and I traced that to be a faulty brand new thermostat. So that was frustrating, considering we'd spent all that money on the brand new radiator. And I think it pulls nice and strong. What do you think? Put something in the comments if you've had one of these before. But do bear in mind this still is running a carb. It's not yet been converted back to EFI. But yeah, I think it drives superbly. Oil pressure's strong, temperature sits exactly where it should be now. That goes down quickly, also like it should. But yeah, joking aside, the project is now in a much better position certainly than it was 6 or 8 months ago. We can get out and we can really enjoy the car. Okay, so moving on to the last part of the video, plans moving forward. Well, regular viewers of the channel will know this is not my favourite car. I don't seem to have bonded with it as I would have hoped. I have wanted one of these for 20 odd years. And then the reality is I just don't seem to gel with it. I don't think it's the car's fault. I think that is probably just me. So the car will be getting sold. I have, threatened that in previous videos. It was just when to sell it and in what kind of condition to sell it. So my thinking now is I'm going to put it into winter storage. It's going to be covered over. I can forget about it for 6 months. Collect all the components that I would need to convert it back to EFI. I still originally have the twin plenum unit anyway in the loft. So my thoughts were, I've done all this work, years of work on it to get it up to the standard it's in just now. You know, I mean, this thing was sitting off the road for about 15 years, so it is still an incredible feat to get it back on the road and in a drivable condition where you can just go out anytime you want in it. But I think I'm maybe selling it a little bit short if I just leave the carbs on it and I don't reinstate the fuel injection system. So what do you guys think? Value as well has to play a key factor in it. I think with the twin plenum unit reinstalled, valuably significantly higher than as it stands with the carb. But of course, if anybody does want to buy it in the condition it's in with the carb, perfectly usable, reach out via the comment section and we'll see if we can work out a deal. But yeah, so it looks like it could be a little bit of a winter project. Piecing all these things together, we'd need an ECU, we'd need a fuel pump, we would need a wiring loom, we'd also need an inlet manifold, I think a different fuel filter and maybe a few sensors also along the way. Fuel lines, I think we could probably get away with using the ones that are currently in there. They do look original. We are risking a bit of a headache of a job, and obviously it might not be as reliable even with the injection system fitted. I don't know. I do know with the carb on it, you know, it's very basic engineering. You know, it's very, very reliable. They tend to just run with these carbs on them without too many headaches. So there was somebody just giving me a thumbs up, so that was good. You'll have missed that because I don't have that camera on. But yeah, so that's the project summary as a whole. I will continue to try and source replacement interior parts for it. This dash top is cracked, sun damaged. I believe these are quite hard come by. On the parcel shelf, the two rear speaker panels, again, they're kind of a hardboard material. They are totally wrecked and all curled up. So again, I may end up making some of those. We'll see how enthusiastic I am about it over the winter period. But that, I would say, is the two main things. That there and that panel on the rear. Now, wood veneer as well. That one down there at the passenger side glove box. I couldn't even think of the word there. Passenger side glove box. That needs replacing. I mean, to be honest, it could do with all the wood veneer refurbishing, but you're into quite a high sum of money to do that, and I wouldn't be prepared to go that far with the car. It isn't going to be a full Concours type build. It's just not that sort of thing. It's meant to be a more usable, classic retro car to enjoy. So I'm going to stop short of doing that, but if I can find a second-hand set specifically for that dashboard one, that would be great. And it would be nice to also get in and wet clean the seats and the carpets to see how well we could bring them up. But yeah, just other little things, you know, like that gear stick gaiter that I mentioned earlier. It would be nice to replace that and maybe try and get these cleaned up a little bit. But I'd be very interested to hear your opinions on it. I know a lot of you subscribers are. Just to interrupt, it looks like we've got a Capri Brooklands going round the roundabout there. I need to see if we can catch up with that and have a wee look at it. Yeah, sorry, going back to that, yeah, a lot of you guys are SD1 enthusiasts and owners, so although I don't reply to all the comments now because there are just far too many to realistically get through, I do read every single comment, and it'd be nice to see what you think. Sell it as it is. or put the EFI back on it. Yeah, let me know what you think, if you think it's going to be worth my while. I mean, it is funny driving through town. You get a lot of attention in it, and it's all positive attention. Because I mean, it's a stunning looking car, you know, from the outside. Oh, and there's a Capri, and it's through the lights, so we're going to miss that. That's a shame. It'd be nice to have a wee look at that. So I hope you've all enjoyed this very brief update on the Rover SD1 project, and I hope to all see you for the next video. So thanks for watching.